Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I'm going to be jumping in and sharing with you guys some of my most important XRP analysis that I have ever made. We're going to be once again comparing some new fractals between Doge and between XRP, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly why I believe XRP is destined for one of the biggest market cycles we have ever seen, where everybody is doubting it right now. All of the doubters are about to be made looking really silly because what is coming for XRP is some of the biggest profit potential we have ever seen. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these awesome videos like the one provided for you here. And if you're just tuning into this channel, make sure you guys join the Discord server as well. Links are provided for you in the description for that. On top of all of that, you guys can also get my free ebook and study guide in the description as well. That's going to teach you guys how to trade a little bit better. So if you're a new guy, I recommend checking that out. And with all that being said, guys, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so here we are once again talking about XRP. I have been so bullish on this coin for so freaking long, and it's so amazing to see it following to our trading plans. Even though it took a little bit longer than expected, I think that that's always the way it goes. The markets usually prove you wrong, and usually, you know, you're right on track, but they usually are a little bit longer than you're expecting, and then they pump a little bit quicker than you're expecting. And it's just this mix of emotions that you kind of have to go through and adjust when it comes to investing into crypto. They take a long time of doing absolutely nothing, and then all of a sudden they just explode. It's a really fun game if you have the patience to actually wait for it. But XRP, we kind of all knew going into this that this was going to be a laggard. And for the people that didn't know, that still continue to hold and buy more, shout out to you guys, because you were honestly some of the best holders in the entire space. When you bought a cryptocurrency, invested into it, continued to stick out with it, even though it underperformed against a lot of the market for a long time. Keep in mind that this is the exact same thing that happened in the last cycle, but guess what happened after that? Well, XRP ended up outperforming the rest of the cycle, and that's kind of what I've always been believing that XRP would do once again. It's going to lag, it's going to look worthless, people are going to say all this negative fun on it, and then all of a sudden it's going to steal the spotlight, and then those people end up buying our bags as we're taking profits. So let's talk about some thoughts and perspectives of what we've had for a little while now, because what I've had drawn as my analysis for my analysis with XRP, we were watching this level here at about 77 cents. This was the top of the resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, and we were also watching for this level up here at about $1.18, and then we had this level here at about 92.5 cents. Now, these were really the three levels. This was our first resistance that we've actually broken out of. Because of the fact we broke out of this resistance, this really set the stage for what I believed was going to be the parabolic moves to come. And so we can remove that because that was actually one of the lines from our older videos. And these were the two recent ones that I had laid out for us. We were watching these levels, and at the time, price was clear up here still. It was just barely starting to retrace. And I said, watch out for $1.20. This is going to be the previous resistance that was right here. If we're really bullish, we'll hold support above that. If we need an extended correction, then I said target 92.5 cents. And that's pretty much exactly what we did. We came down, we weren't able to hold support above this level, but we did for a short period of time. We came, wicked down, bounced back above. We came down, touched again, bounced back above, but we couldn't close above it. There's too much sell side pressure, Bitcoin corrected, and that's why XRP ended up coming down lower. And then we came down to the second area, which was 92.50. And so far, we've wicked off of that perfectly. We are getting some nice buyers stepping back in. You know, we're going to watch and see whether this holds. In my personal belief, I think that this holds, because keep in mind, guys, the biggest reason why the market sold off yesterday was because of the news broke out that Joe Biden plans to actually raise the wealth tax up to 43.5% for the wealthy, and this is long-term capital gains tax, which, if you guys are aware, if you hold over a year and a day as an American citizen, then that's how you qualify for lesser tax, and right now it's 20%. And so if you hold at least in that threshold, which I've talked about thoroughly on this channel, why I have dollar cost average and why I pinpoint to the end of this year to sell, is because that's what smart money's doing entirely. That's what everybody's doing. They're timing the cycles based off of the tax season, right? That's why all of these markets are cyclical. And so what we're seeing right now, could potentially not only be because of the rise and the panic because of the tax season, but this sell-off could also just be people taking taxes in general, taking a little bit of profit off the top. I think both of these kind of catalysts into making this this sell-off a little bit bigger than a lot of people were expecting. But overall, guys, this is literally just us flipping all of these resistance levels. Keep in mind, this was our previous resistance here. We broke above that with this move very convincingly. It's obvious to tell that there is not a ton of resistance left because we flipped this level now as long as support holds, which I honestly think it's going to hold. I don't think we're going to chop around here too long. You know, if we can get a close back above here, $1.18, that's really going to set the stage for a new buyback and then go us into new all-time highs. And it's literally what I've laid out as far as the Doge chart goes. So as you guys recall, with my Doge fractal that I shared with you guys, this is literally following that same fractal pretty identically. And honestly, I'm expecting it to continue to do this exact same thing. So you guys know in my last video, I laid out the Doge fractal and I pointed out to you guys how the XRP chart looks exactly the same as Doge. And honestly, guys, if we were able to pull what Doge did, this is the type of move that we would be seeing from XRP. Do you guys think it's unrealistic to see this type of a move with XRP? Which honestly, if we did this, then I mean, $100 per XRP, that to me is a little ridiculous. I honestly don't think that we're going to go and end up going that high. I believe that this move is going to be shorter than that. Not to feed you guys a bunch of hopium. I'm not trying to share any FUD or anything. I'm just trying to get you guys hyped up to potentially, you know, set yourselves up for big failure. I've pinpointed that I think 20 to 30 bucks is realistic for XRP. But once again, guys, I'm selling based off of time frames. And I've always told you this because once again, I don't know what the prices can hit. And anybody that says that they do has never been through a parabolic cycle with crypto. You can't predict how high these things are going to go. Nobody knows. And sometimes they just do some astronomically insane gains. They go to some insane valuations. Look at Doge for a prime example. Even though XRP is up there with market cap, you know, it's going to take tons more money to actually push it up to those types of valuations. But I mean, we just saw Doge take off and perform exceptionally well. And the charts are pinpointing that XRP looks exactly the same as Doge. So maybe we don't go for quite the same type of a parabolic cycle. Maybe we do. Regardless, I'm selling based off of my time frames because I already know, A, I'm not smart enough to predict exactly where the price goes. I'm not Nostradamus. I'm not God. I can't do these types of things. But what I can do is I can maximize my profit potential by analyzing the cycles. And what the cycles pinpoint is that there is these synchronistic time frames that we can look at where every cycle top and every cycle bottom is 4 years apart. They're 4-year cycles. And you can look at all of these and they do the exact same thing. The only difference is with altcoins is they don't really do a lot until all of a sudden they just supermoon. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. And so I don't know what's going to happen with XRP. And I just think that 20 to 30 bucks has been my price target that I thought was realistic. Once again, I'm going to sell based off of the time frames, and whatever the price is at those time frames, that's what I'm going to get out of it, and I'm going to be happy regardless. You know, it could keep going up way more. I could miss out on a ton of gains. I could, you know, who knows what happens. Maybe it sells off early and I still miss out on gains that way. I don't know what's going to happen, but what I can say, guys, is that these crypto markets are freaking exploding. There's so much money that's out there flowing into them, and we still have, you know, 7+ months worth of this cycle to go off of before we start to get anywhere close to what I would view as a cycle top. And so let's talk about one more chart quickly, and let's actually talk about Doge and XRP. So this black chart here is Doge against Bitcoin, and this chart in the background is obviously XRP against Bitcoin. And I wanted to share this with you guys because it perfectly shows how synchronistic all of these altcoins are to each other and how they pretty much all follow the exact same type of trends. And this is the same fractal that we saw inside of the Bitcoin pairs. You know, they both had that big rally up in 2017. In the springtime into the summer, we topped, fully retraced. Then we went in for another big pump. You know, XRP went a little bit higher than Doge, but regardless, it's meant to share with you guys how these follow each other and they mimic each other's same price action. Now, Doge itself mimics XRP a lot for some reason. And what that tells me is there's a lot of the same money going into it. For whatever reason, I don't know, but they look the same. And we can see that if we continue to follow this fractal all the way down, we get to a couple really important points that I think are interesting. So let's separate them real quick and let's talk about some things. Right here, this pump and this rejection looks exactly the same. Now, what we saw after it for Doge was our final sell-off, and then we started to make this formation on the bottom. We broke back up, flipped this previous resistance as support, and that's what ultimately sent us into that move. Now, if you really look at what is happening with XRP today, you're going to see that we are pretty much on the exact same trajectory. And you guys got to keep in mind that this black chart is actually on a shorter time frame. So if I dive into a shorter time frame, it starts to look a little bit more symmetrical. What we can see here is a similar type of bottom formation. And this move here reminds me of the same move that we saw right here. So we popped up, we came pretty close to this previous high, rejected, and then we flipped this level right there. And that's not a very straight line, but you get the point, right? So we're flipping that level here. And if we continue to follow this cycle, guys, this is literally what happened to Doge. And this was the type of move that we saw. And so if we line these up, if we can see a similar type of move here, which I don't see why we couldn't, you know, XRP against BTC could be up, I don't know, 50 plus X, which is literally what Doge did. These are all close enough. They all look similar enough in the charts. I believe that this is the biggest alt season we will ever see in crypto. The most profitable, the most volume, the most ROI. All of this stuff is going to happen inside of this cycle. And so if we're seeing certain coins looking the same, acting the same, it's like that saying, if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. My guess is XRP is probably going to pull a Doge. And I've been expecting this stuff as a crypto investor because you guys got to keep in mind that I was here from the beginning of the parabolic move in the last cycle. I bought my first Bitcoin at $450, even though I had no idea what the hell I was doing and I made a lot of mistakes and really didn't profit. I was watching the whole thing happen before my eyes. And going through that, I saw what type of impulses happen inside of a parabolic market. And most people always make the mistake of selling too early. That's the biggest thing that people are going to do. That's the thing that most people I saw do in the last cycle. And I think the same thing's going to happen now. Keep in mind what happened to Doge. Everybody took profits here. Smart money, a lot of the traders that I saw, they took profits right here when it popped into resistance. Sold off, you know, some people bought it again, most people didn't. And then it did this type of a move. And nobody really expected it, and so most people didn't actually capitalize on this. Most of the smart money's selling in this move, and then retail is pumping it up here. And at the end of the day, you know, smart money sold here and they made profit, but they missed out on this, and retail is buying this, and so they're missing out on profit because it's about to crash. So on both ends of the table, if you're a trader and if you're too focused on the shorter time frame, you're going to end up selling this and missing out on this here. But if you're retail and you're not buying down here, you're going to end up buying this and then, you know, missing out when it crashes and you lose all your money, right? This is the way the market psychology goes. And if we watch what happens to everything else around us, this is the same thing that happened in the last cycle. All of the charts looked very similar. Some of them looked a little different, but some of them looked more correlated with others. Some of them looked, you know, a little bit more correlated with these coins on the same platform. It really just depended, but they all kind of mimicked each other. Now, what we saw was certain coins started exploding. What we've seen thus far is pretty much that. We saw Chainlink start leading the market, Aave, Synthetic, some of the DeFi craze in the last summer, and now we're starting to see the whole market kind of go up as a whole. And it's on the same time frames that happened in the last cycle. It was early spring, right? February, March, April, when we saw that run up. We're a little bit later than that, April to May, but we're on that same sort of trajectory. So we should expect to see this type of move playing out. It's like musical chairs. One's going to pop, and then everybody's going to say, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then another one's going to pop, and then everybody's going to say, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then more are going to pop, and it's just going to be like musical chairs. Buy one that looks the same that hasn't pumped, watch it pump, sell the profits, and throw it into something else that looks the same that hasn't pumped. It's not that hard. You guys know what I'm talking about. I like to focus on fractals. I like to focus on the big picture stuff because it's a lot easier to conceptualize. You don't have to be an expert at TA. You don't have to know a ton of stuff. All you really have to understand is, you know, that these things look the same, and you just play musical chairs the whole time, and that's really the best strategy to go about profiting. Fundamentals do matter too, but really, guys, you can make just as much money not following fundamentals with crypto. It's really just what you prefer. Now, as we wrap up this video, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in and watching this. Thank you all so much for the support of this channel. You do truly mean the world to me, each and every one of you, the guys out there that watch, support, like, comment, subscribe, hate on me, all of it. I appreciate you guys. Now, with that being said, remember that I do have a live training that's coming up, and so if you guys want to reserve your spot, there's a cap supply. There's only a certain amount of people that are going to be able to make it, and it's filling up really quick already. Links are provided for you in the description to go ahead and sign up for that. Make your reservation. I'm going to be talking about 4-year cycles. I'm going to get into a little bit more detail about what all of this means, where we're going to be taking profits, how you guys can come away with a ton of value. You don't have to sign up for any of my course or signals or any of that stuff. And you guys are going to be able to understand a couple more of my questions. I've seen a lot of people asking me, hey, how do we know when to sell? How do we know when to take profits? I don't want to end up holding on to this stuff in a bear market. I'm going to cover a lot of those questions inside of this live training. And so tune in for that. At the very end, for the people that do stay to the end of that, there's going to be an offer for the biggest sell, the biggest discount I'm ever going to do on my video course signals and the new beginner course. You're going to get the beginner course for free on top of all of that. This is going to really dive into a lot of the more basic stuff, how to set up wallets, how to use DeFi applications, how to stake, how to yield farm, all of that type of stuff that you guys probably really have been wondering how to actually go about doing. I'm going to teach you guys a lot of the basics, how to keep your money safe so that you guys know exactly what to do. And if you participate through that, not only you're going to get the course and the signals, but you're also going to get the beginner course as well. So watch through that. Lots of cool information. With that being said, check out the ebook if you're a new guy wanting to learn a little bit more about the markets. It's free, not going to cost you anything. Links are also provided for you in the description with that. And thank you all so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.